こんな英語ダメ。絶対ダメ。何これ。Dearest customer ってそもそも言わない。おかしいよ。これにぴったりの英語を知りたい。Can I learn German and Japanese at the same time? Um, I let's just go. Bring it on. Bring it, bring it. They paid separately. We've talked about this a few times. Anyway, we've already talked about this government before. They paid separately. We say bitsu bitsu, right? So depending on who we're talking about, it could be kareda, it could be karetachi, it could be kanozora, it could be kanozoratachi. It all depends. Kareda, it seems.
彼ら、
So this is casual and could be either all men or a mixture of men and women. The only thing we know for certain is it's not a group full of only women. Yep, that's what kareda would mean. So, what?
は、
Sin, how's it going, bud? Welcome in. Yokoso. So, separately, right? Betsu betsu.
別々
Then we
に
have ni. And then shiharatta.
支払った。
Shiharatta is to pay. So yeah, we have karera wa, they, betsu betsu ni, separately, shiharatta, paid, right? Dun, 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 dun. Can I learn German and Japanese at the same time? I would not recommend it. I would not recommend studying two languages at the same time, but it's not impossible. Yeah, when Twitch lets you make clips, I know. The reason, Sin. I mean, and I hope you weren't planning on studying German mainly, and then we were going to add Japanese, and because of my answer, you're now not going to study Japanese with me. But um, for when we tend to, especially when we're mid-learning a language, or like several languages, we tend to mix them up a lot, right? So it can kind of hinder your study that way. They are very difficult, very different languages, so maybe it'd be a little bit easier to differentiate them. But I actually tried to study Chinese and Korean at the same time, and it was very difficult. Whereas I studied Japanese, you can't really be done studying a language, but I studied it to the point of uh, being pretty much fluent, not needing to actively study so much anymore. Um, and then I started studying like just Korean. I stopped studying both at the same time, and it was a lot easier to focus on that because the Japanese, of course, would sometimes get in the way. Sometimes my English gets in the way, but not as much. If you're trying to learn two at the same time, they're very much in the same part of your brain, and they really get in the way. And it's going to slow down your pace for both, right? So I think you should at least study one of them to like decent fluency, where you're at least confident to speak and listen um, casually before you start studying another language. That's my personal opinion. It's definitely not impossible to learn two at the same time, but I think you should focus on one at the same time, or one at a time. Um, it's kind of similar to just the way they recommend you do tasks, because the way we focus, right? If you have 5 tasks and you need to do them all, the best way to do it is do task A to finish, task B to finish, task C to finish, D, E, right? Instead of going and do a little bit of A, do a little bit of B, do a little bit of C, do a little bit of D, like multitasking. Because every time you switch, not only do you waste willpower, which is that an actual thing that you have a limited amount of every day that helps you make choices and choose to do things, but you also waste time trying to and focus trying to switch between them, right? So it's kind of similar to that, but in the long term.
ラーメンをたくさん残しましたか？
Wow, she's very depressing. Ramen, it's ramen. Wow, never would have guessed. Takusan is a lot. nokosu is to leave. So, ramen o takusan nokoshimashita ka is, did you leave a lot of ramen? Okay.
祖母は晩ご飯でいつもお湯を飲みます。
Okay.
祖母はいつも
Where are you?
晩ご飯
I totally forgot what sentence we were talking about.
祖母は晩ご飯でいつもお湯を飲みます。いつもおでいつもお湯
Really? I mean,
Oh.
these people do exist.
飲みます。
Do you know what this means? Guys, do you know what this means? This is a silly, but they exist. Especially some older ladies and gents. So, sobo, humble version of grandmother. But bangohan de, so at dinner. Itsumo always. Oyu, hot water. Like maybe not boiling, but like boiled and then cooled, a little bit cooled down. Onomimasu, drinks. So my grandmother always drinks hot water with her dinner. Hot? It's a thing. It's a thing. So obaasan would have been the same thing as sobo, but obaasan is technically respectful, and when you're talking to other people outside of your group, you don't necessarily want to be respectful to people inside your group. It's considered rude. That being said, technically it is rude. That being said, it's not actually that rude for this particular, for talking about like family members. It's not actually that bad. So a lot of people cheat this rule, right? It's technically wrong, but a lot of people would say obaasan. Just so you know. Should we go over those? Should we go over humble ways? I don't see any points to talk about yet, so we might as well let's talk about ways to say family members, yeah? We have sobo, yeah? Sobo equals grandmother. Humble, right? Obaasan. Obaasan equals, let's call it grandma, yeah? Grandma. What do we say? Polite. Now just remember, the difference between humble and polite. Resonke, let's say respect. Not just for grandmother, this is an important point. When you're talking about somebody in your group, in your circle, and you're talking to somebody out of your circle, in this case, not in your family, you want to use humble words for everybody in your circle. When you are talking directly to that person, then technically your circle is just you, and their circle is them, and so they're out of your circle. Then you want to use respect words, right? If you're talking to your own family, you want to use respect words about your other family members, right? So, sobo, if you're talking to somebody outside your family, obaasan if you're talking to anybody inside your family. Okay? So, we have sofu. Grandfather. Humble. We have ojiisan. Grandpa. Respect. Yeah. Oh, no, sorry. Let's do this. Why did that take me so long? Haha. Yes, it looks like laughing. Means, mother. And this is humble. Okaasan. It's going to be mom. I'm just gonna keep changing it to the way I would say in English. Technically, a lot of times we might say mother to other people. We might say mom straight to your face, right? Mom or respect. Okay, and last one I'll write here. There are, of course, more, but this will be the last one I'll write here. Chichi is father, humble. Otousan. Oops. Is dad, respect. Anybody wants to know the rest? Siblings, we can talk about that, but for now I think I'm going to move on because I don't want to spend too much time on just one single point.
お客様、いらっしゃいませ。
Very simple. Okyakusama, guest or customer. In this case, customer. Irasshaimase is the set phrase that people say to the people working at a restaurant or any kind of business say when customers come in. So, oh my goodness. Okay, so I know Duolingo's rules. They'll start the first word with a capital letter, which means it has to be both or dearest, right? Both doesn't make sense in this situation. Dearest is like the silliest way. Is it gonna say dearest customer? Welcome. What? I don't know. Is that what where's my comma, by the way? Welcome to, oh, no. This is a horrible translation. Am I missing something? What do they want to say? Oh my goodness, no. こんな英語ダメ。絶対ダメ。何これ。Dearest customer ってそもそも言わない。おかしいよ。マジでおかしい。お客様いらっしゃいませ。はい。今、訳します。いいよ。任せて。お客様。ね。いらっしゃいませ。いいこれにぴったりの映画を知りたいいい聞いてますはい、じゃあ、なんかお客さんってそもそも言わなくてもいいし、Dearest は絶対言わない。Welcome. か、How are you today? ウォルマートっていう、声優と同じ会社なんだけど、アメリカでよくあるスーパーマーケットでは、こういう挨拶をするだけの仕事あるんですね。で、大体、その人が何言ってるかというと、Welcome. How are you today? それ入れようか。これが翻訳とローカライズの違いです。翻訳は大体同じ意味、お客様をそのまま訳さないとですね。でもローカライズは、日本語ではいらっしゃいませって言うかもしれないけど、欧米ではこういう全く違う言葉、全く違う意味だけど、同じ場合、同じ挨拶したいときに使う言葉にするわけ。でそれが、Welcome. How are you today? Yeah? You got it? You got it? So I localized this, guys. I didn't translate it. The difference between translating and localizing is translating you have to keep all the same meanings. Even if it's not a direct translation, which is just bad translation, you need to keep all the meaning, right? And so, yeah, maybe you could translate okyakusama irasshaimase as I still wouldn't say it though. I would leave it off. Welcome. Right? But what do we say? What do like the welcoming people like in Walmart say? Welcome, how are you today? Or even just how are you today? That's localization. Knowing what they said, if they say like a set phrase that they would always say in this situation in Japanese, in English, if we say a completely different thing, even if it's completely different meaning, but it's it's the same purpose, which is to welcome the person coming in. That's what we write, and that's localization. Just saying, that's what I did here.
早くホテルを予約した方がいいです。
Okay. So, hayaku.
早く
Hayai, as we know, is quickly. Technically early in this because it's this kanji. Technically early. But if you move quickly, you are moving earlier, right? Hayaku, yoyaku.
予約
Oh, so yoyaku is reservation. But if you yoyaku o suru, then it's to make a reservation, right? Yoyaku o shita
方
ga
がいい
desu.
です。
Right? した方がいい is you should, right? You should do. 食べた方がいい you should eat. Should we? We can make that our next grammar point.
早くホテルを予約した方がいいです。
Okay.
予約をした方がいいです。ホテルを予約した方がいいです。
Okay. Anyway, we also have hoteru. So we're reserving a hotel. Okay. So in this case, you should reserve. Sorry, you should reserve a hotel. Technically early, but we would say quickly. Right? You should hurry up and so a natural way to say this is you should hurry up and reserve a hotel. Ah! We saw the show. Is that not what I wrote? 早くホテルを予約した方がいいです。早くホテルを予約した方がいいです。Are you guys? Oh, well. This is the kanji for whole. They have whole here. They're telling me I was supposed to use the hiragana, even though the kanji is also there. Okay. Sorry, guys. I will gladly admit that I'm wrong. I'm not wrong.
予約しています。
Okay, but let's do した方がいい really quick. Let's do a really quick した方がいい lesson. So if you basically take a verb and put it into past tense, right? Past tense casual. So let's say we'll use the same one. 予約した方がいい. Right? これも日本の方もぜひぜひ聞いてください。よく変な英訳を聞いてますので、した方がいい。した方が it's literally this, yeah. Oops. 予約した方がいい。You should make a reservation. Right? Literally, you would be better off if you made a reservation. Kind of right. And so, I often hear the translation. I mean, not translation, but like Japanese people trying to say this. You'd better make a reservation. It's very strong. It's the same meaning, but it sounds like a threat most of the time. なんかね、you should make reservation は丁寧ですけど、you'd better make a reservation とか。Actually, no, I think I hear you'd be better too, but it's really weird. But you'd better make a reservation は合ってますけど、結構お腹してる感じがします。予約しないとぶっ飛ばしちゃうよ、みたいな。っていう風に聞こえる。ぶっ飛ばすっていうか、なんていうか、言ってないけど、そんな感じがします。Okay. 野菜を食べた方がいい。Okay, we'll leave the kanji off this time. 野菜を食べた方がいい。 So we basically took taberu and put it in past tense, tabeta. Right? You should eat your vegetables. Right, and let's do one more. No, let's do two more because I want to put a negative in there too. You can say you shouldn't, right? But let's just do, because I want to do different types of verbs. So we have the suru verb, just the regular to do. We have a ichidan verb, taberu. And let's say, I don't know, kusuriを飲んだ方がいい. Just for an example of nomu, it becomes nonda instead of ta. Because that's how mu is translated. Or, now, what's the word conjugated? Kusuri wo nonda hou ga ii. Okay, and this equals you should take. We drink medicine, by the way, regardless of whether it's a pill or anything. It's always drink. But in English, 日本語では薬を飲むだけど、英語は take medicine で覚えておいてください。So you should take your medicine, right? And do I have enough room? I just want to say, okay, let's say this. Osake wo nomisugiru, right, means to drink too much. So to not drink too much is nomisuginai, right? Nomisuginai hoga ii. Osake wo nomisuginai hoga ii. So this would mean you shouldn't drink too much alcohol. Right? Hodo ni ne. Do we have enough space for one more? Let me just throw this in here because we're talking about drinking too much. Hodo ni. Let's say osake o hodo ni. Did it fit? Yes. Okay, so shoot, what's the best way to say that in English? Help me out, dictionary. In moderation. Thank you. There is English for it. That's what we say. And technically the full sentence for this is osake o hodo hodo ni nonda hou ii yo is actually the full sentence, but we cut it off. We know what comes after that. So osake o hodo hodo ni, you can stop there. So I'm just gonna say drink in moderation because I don't have space to put any longer than that. Okay, that is what we have for you today. We are going to take a 3-minute break and vote for the game. Don't go anywhere because we still need to review. So, just really quick on different words for family. We have sobo to mean grandmother when you're talking about them, two people outside your family. Obaasan when you're talking about your grandmother. Okay, ittoire. See you soon, Chin. Obaasan when you're talking about your grandmother respectfully. So when you're talking to her directly or about her to any family member. Same thing. Sofu is humble for grandfather. Ojiisan is respectful for grandfather. Haha, humble for mother. Okaasan, respectful for mother. Chichi, humble for father. Otousan, humble for father, for dad. Okay. And this is just I really didn't like their translation for okyakusama, irasshaimase. It was very unnatural. I believe it said dearest customer welcome. Come on, do we say that? Dearest customer welcome なんて言いません。だから、まあ、 直訳ではないんだけど、ローカライズになってしまうんですけど、一番自然なのが Welcome, how are you today? のようなことです。OK? 予約した方がいい。そうした方がいい is saying you should, right? 予約した方がいい you should make a reservation. 野菜を食べた方がいい you should eat your vegetables. 薬を飲んだ方がいい薬を、sorry, you should take your medicine, right? お酒を飲みすぎない方がいい right? You shouldn't drink too much alcohol. So this is a negative way. Just keep it in the casual form, put it negative, and then just add 方がいい and then just because we were talking about alcohol, osake, you know what? Actually, I think we should put it like this. It's more common. Osake wa hodo hodo ni. I just realized we don't have enough space because I need to put this. Osaka. You know what? For this one only, you just gotta. No, let's put something together. We can put something together like these, maybe. They're kind of pairs, right? Isha, move this chair over here. Okay, and those are the notes for the day. Good job, guys. どうも、筋肉フィックスです。動画の最後まで見てくれてありがとうございました。内容が気に入られた方は、チャンネル登録よろしくお願いします。I also encourage you to follow me on Twitch to chat or watch me live. The link is in the description below.